Hello, nerds, geeks, and other awkward members of society. Welcome to the Nerd Zone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Scruffy Tales. And in this video, we will be returning to the all-out disaster, the Acolyte, and take a look at how this show, despite being fan service, failed completely. Because I believe, looking back, thinking back on this show, that this was an attempt by Disney to appease the fans that were mad at the franchise, that were mad at the sequel trilogy and everything. They wanted to make things right, so they decided to make a show that was supposed to be uh, a bit edgy, exploring an era we hadn't yet really seen, also providing an interesting plot and scenario, and to make it perfect, they wanted to throw in fan service. Take a look at stuff that had been going on in the books, in the expanded universe, stuff like that, and mash it all together. And with the Acolyte, Disney hoped to win over the fandom once more. And as we all know, they kind of failed big time. And well, how will this work? I don't know. But take this character to begin with. Taken from the High Republic, was meant to connect us with more recent expanded universe stuff. You even have this silly lightning whip. Jesus fucking Christ, Disney! Why? A lightning whip, lightsaber whip. Oh, it's such a bad idea, and they put it in the goddamn show. But anyway, so they quite clearly, with all of this, had hoped to, connect people with more recent expanded lore and put that into the show. And then, of course, you had the whole Cortosis thing over here with the helmet, and I've forgotten his name. Uh, Smilo Ren, not his name, but still, you get the point. Uh, Dog in the background, and even more older lore from the late 90s. The concept of cortosis and showed up for the first time. So they're trying to bring in the old lore with the new expanded lore and merge it in this show. Give the fans proper fan service. So take a look at these nuggets from old school expanded universe, and here we have from even more recent books and what have you, and we're putting it in this show to you know appease the fans, to make the fans get giddy, because they're seeing stuff from the books, even from before Disney took over. But the overall result was still crap, so no one cared, right? So, but as you can see, they clearly made an effort to make this show about fan service, to win the fans back to the franchise. And well, yeah, they failed. And then you have Darth Plagueis, this big reveal at the end of the show, that I suspect they had hoped that people would go, "Wow, it's Darth Plagueis!" Of course, that didn't happen because people had grown tired of the show at that point. But clearly, they again appease the fans. Show us. They wanted to show us Darth Plagueis, and and so that we would have this massive cheer seeing this badass Sith Lord moving in the background. Instead, it just didn't happen. And also, this is not so much about lore or anything, but they wanted to show us a cool Jedi, so they decided, why not have a Wookiee Jedi? That is awesome. And then again, his the vow he had taken to live in solitude. That is Wookiee lore from the expanded universe. Same thing with the silly kid that goes into isolation in the Jedi Temple. That whole thing with the Jedi uh, committing to a year-long what the hell is it called? Forgotten the name. Anyway, that's also expanded universe when he goes into himself to find clarity, to explore, to find clarity, connect with the Force and everything. Again, from expanded universe. So you have all of these nuggets in the show meant to reach out to us, the fans, and drag us back into the Star Wars franchise, and Disney proving to the fans that they are true to the franchise. They respect the lore. They want to bring back the expanded universe back into Star Wars and everything like that. And it just fell on its ass, spectacularly so. And no wonder when the main plot of the show basically revolves around this guy when he was a kid. He didn't want to stay on a planet that should be dead, but instead had big, massive forest growing on it. So he didn't want to do that. He wanted to get back to Coruscant. And when the witch got into his goddamn head and started reading his mind to find out what his deepest desire was, that's a good plot line. Witch digging into your brain to find your deepest desire, to twist that against you. And all he ever wanted was to go back home. And that triggers the death of the entire coven of witches. The entire thing burns down, their base burns down. And because of this, he ends up in this goddamn situation where he uh, voluntarily goes into this floating force coma thing. Meditation is the word I've been searching for some minutes now. Meditating on his mistakes, on his past and everything. And this is what the show is about. This dumb thing here with him just wanting to go home. That was his deepest desire, and that made him end up in this situation. And then he too asked forgiveness because he was such a goddamn stupid kid. He drinks poison and kills himself. Right? It's oh no. I mean, you can see why the fans went, what? I don't care about the fan service because this plot line is pretty goddamn stupid. And speaking of fan service, the whole Virgins thing with the planet and why the Jedi are there, I mean, that's also callback fan service because Yoda, of course, in episode 5 explains the Force to Luke and tells him that, the Force, life creates it, makes it grow. Right? Yoda explains this in episode 5. So the creators of the Acolyte, they wanted to use that to connect this show with the original trilogy and connect it with Yoda and how he explains the Force to Luke, right? So again, fan service. So Yoda says that the Force creates life and makes it grow. So in the show, we have a planet where the Force has popped up out of nowhere big time and created life on a planet that should have been dead, right? Fan service. A good idea, but I mean, they just messed up the how to provide this idea, this concept to us. And I mean, the whole plot with the twins, again, it's an okay plot. It's just that they fail in delivering it. So these twins are born out of some weird Darth Plagueis shenanigans, by the looks of it. uh, as the moms of the twins hint that, it's not a natural birth. There's some strange things going on, and they have then become the two sides of the same coin. They represent one person essentially somehow. I don't remember. I didn't pay all that much attention because it's a bad show. And so you have this thing with Darth Plagueis experimenting, using the Force to create life. And I mean, that kind of ties in with the expanded lore on how maybe Anakin was born and stuff like that. But I mean, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work in the way that, and this, when she's like, face me with all of your, it's so bad. It's really bad. It just doesn't work. And when she cut her hair with the lightsaber, Jesus, who came up with that idea and thought that was a good idea? Oh no, it's just, and then yes, the twist that uh, Osha is one that turns to evil or is seduced by evil. Perfectly fine. Again, it's a good idea. I mean, remember that George Lucas had the idea that Luke might replace Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi, right? Like a big, massive plot twist, and to have something like that in this show where the good guy in the end turns bad, fine. Good, awesome idea. But you need to sell it. You need to give us uh, a credible plot line. It's just like with Game of Thrones when Daenerys in the last episode goes cray cray and just burns down King's Landing for no reason. King's Landing has surrendered and they give up and yes, you're the queen, we surrender. And she goes, nah, I'm gonna kill all of you anyway, out of nowhere. And it's just, no, it's, and I mean, I mean, you can go on and on and on and complain about this show, but this fight that this Padawan can hold her own against this guy who has killed, what, 6 or 7 Jedi Knights at this point, and then she shows up and just kicks his ass and keeps pace with him. That's just no. Meanwhile, this dude who has no point in the show whatsoever. He gets wiped out. He's a fully trained Jedi. It's, well, huh? Why? Wouldn't it have been a better idea, since this dude here is supposed to fill some kind of role? Why not have the Padawan get killed because she gets in over her head into this situation, and Smilo Ren just wipes her out because, she's not as good as she thinks. And then this guy sees that and he goes semi dark side and takes on Smilo Ren. And he actually has a moment where he can show us that he is an awesome Jedi and can fight Smilo Ren, right? Wouldn't that make more sense? Instead, you have this weird when no, we have to leave because uh, Jedi Master Soul told us, and then they go, no, we have to go back, and he said, oh, we have to go back. Okay, well then we'll go back. I guess it's just no, it doesn't make sense. There's so many of these weird situations. Never mind the castle made of stone and concrete burning down, or how the witches died because Jedi Master Trinity pushed them through their heads somehow, psychic power push, and that killed them all. It, oh, oh no, yeah, no. But I mean, truth be told, the original idea, it's not that bad. A Jedi mission that goes wrong, it must have happened sometime during the entire existence of the Jedi Order, that they go on a mission and it goes south, right? And the Jedi feel uh, they don't know how to deal with, right? Because they're Jedi, they're not supposed to make mistakes. They're supposed to be the good guys. And something goes wrong, innocent people die. Awesome, basic idea. to kick off the show with, right? And throwing in old stuff from the expanded lore, old and new books, again, awesome idea. It's a good idea. And tie things in with the original trilogy with, the Force and life creates it, makes it grow, and all of that. Again, kick-ass idea. Really awesome. You have something to work with. But then they have the Wookiee Jedi that, dies without a big fight. You have the young Padawan that betrays everyone because he just wants to go home. And then you have a Padawan that holds her own against a clearly superior Sith sword fighter. And it's just so. And then the goddamn lightsaber whip. I hate the lightsaber whip. It's such a ridiculous thing. I know Star Wars is meant for kids, but come on, we're nerds, we're adults, we love this shit, and by God, the lightsaber whip, it's just as goddamn stupid as the lightsaber helicopter things that Inquisitors use. Ah! But there's so many, and then of course the power of one many. That chant is horrible. Uh, I don't mind that the sisters have their own view of the Force. Makes total sense. I do mind the other Night Sisters of Dathomir that relies on weird green smoke magic that can bring stuff into existence out of thin air, swords and what have you, and Darth Maul's legs and stuff like that. That I have an issue with. That's it's silly. So the witches in the Acolyte, that they call the Force the thread, and that they are hiding because they tap into the dark side, makes perfect sense. I love it. That's a good idea once again. It's just that, the execution of it is lacking. So yeah, the show, it well and truly had potential. They could have made something really truly awesome with it, but they botched it, and they botched it big time. And my dog is walking around in the background. Just lie down already. Jesus Christ. Well, you're right. You disagree, agree or disagree, leave a comment because I'm nearing the end of the video. But yeah, this was a show that was meant to be fan service and that was meant to bring the fans back to Star Wars, back to the franchise, and leave Disney on top, showing the fans that yes, we can make this happen. We can make good Star Wars content. But I mean, they messed it up big time, didn't they? I mean, I can go on and on about how Star Wars theory has ended up in some weird feud with Amandla. What's her name? Main character, Ocean May, the actress. Apparently, is a weird online feud with Star Wars theory. It's just so messed up, the entire thing. Uh, uh, there's just more and more. The more you think about it, the more weird this show became, and is turning into something really weird. So I understand why they shut it down and didn't give it a second season, because it didn't work and it would not have worked. And I mean, Disney, they need to, I don't know, reboot the franchise almost. I think they have high hopes for this new show coming out. What's it called? I've forgotten the name of it. But if that fails, what will Disney do then? Skeleton Crew. Yeah, that's the new show, Skeleton Crew. Again, looking at the trailer, seems to be a Jedi in it, in hiding, so taking place after sometime after the rise of the Empire and stuff like that. So it could be interesting. Could be really interesting to see that show. Hopefully, that will succeed where the Acolyte failed in bringing back the fans to the franchise. Anyway, that's it. I hope you found it all interesting, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. So that's the end of the video. Bye.